Welcome back to Petverse, where curiosity leads us deeper into the mysterious world of the animals who share our homes. I'm Petverse Voyager, and today we're exploring a behavior that has puzzled and amused cat owners for generations. Why do cats stare at nothing? If you've ever looked over at your cat sitting perfectly still, eyes wide, fixed on an empty corner of the room, you may have felt a slight chill run down your spine. What are they seeing? Are they noticing something invisible to us? Or is it simply another charmingly strange feline habit? While it might feel mysterious, the truth behind this behavior reveals just how extraordinary a cat's senses really are. To begin with, we must understand that a cat's perception of the world is very different from our own. Humans rely heavily on sight and hearing within relatively narrow ranges, but cats evolved as both predators and prey. Their survival depended on detecting the smallest movements, the faintest sounds, and the most subtle environmental changes. Because of this, cats are equipped with sensory systems far more sensitive than ours. When a cat appears to be staring at nothing, there is often something there, just not something human senses can easily detect. One of the most common explanations involves sound. Cats have an incredible range of hearing that extends well beyond human capability. They can detect high-frequency noises such as the squeaks of rodents or the rustling of insects hidden inside walls. Imagine sitting in a quiet room where everything seems silent to you. But to your cat, the space may be filled with tiny sounds, electrical hums from appliances, faint scratching inside the walls, distant footsteps from another floor, or even insects moving in the ceiling. When a cat locks its gaze in one direction, it may be focusing on a sound source while its brain processes exactly where that sound is coming from. Their ears rotate independently, triangulating the location with remarkable precision. What looks like a cat staring into emptiness may actually be the animal listening intensely. Vision also plays a major role. Cats are highly sensitive to motion, far more than to fine detail. Their eyes evolved to detect quick movements in low-light environments, which helped them hunt during dawn and dusk. Because of this adaptation, even the smallest flicker of motion can capture their attention instantly. Dust particles drifting in sunlight, the faint shadow of a passing car outside, or the flutter of a tiny insect can trigger a cat's visual focus. Our eyes may filter out these subtle movements, but a cat's brain treats them as potential targets worth investigating. The result is that intense, unblinking stare toward what appears to us as an empty space. Light reflections can also play tricks that captivate a cat's attention. A moving reflection from a window, a slight shimmer on a wall, or the tiny shifting patterns of light created by outdoor movement may create visual stimuli that cats track with fascination. Because their eyes are designed to detect contrast and motion more than detailed shapes, these small visual signals become incredibly interesting. What seems like nothing to us may appear to a cat as a dynamic environment full of moving patterns and shifting shadows. There is also the hunting instinct to consider. Even though house cats are well fed and comfortable, the ancient programming of a hunter remains deeply embedded in their brains. When a cat stares at a particular location, it may be entering a focused observation state similar to stalking prey. This behavior involves intense concentration, minimal movement, and heightened sensory awareness. The cat is essentially analyzing the environment, waiting to see if movement occurs again. If nothing happens, the cat may eventually lose interest and move on, leaving the human observer wondering what the entire episode was about. Sometimes, however, the explanation is even simpler: cats enjoy observing their surroundings. Unlike humans, who often fill silence with activity, cats are masters of stillness. Sitting quietly while watching the environment provides mental stimulation and helps them stay aware of changes around them. In the wild, this awareness would help detect both prey and potential threats. In a home environment, the habit remains. A blank wall may not truly be blank to a cat, it may represent a space where movement could appear at any moment. Another possibility involves sensory cues beyond sight and sound. Cats have whiskers that detect subtle changes in air currents, helping them sense movement around them. If a small insect flies by or if air shifts through a vent, the whiskers may register the change even before the eyes do. The cat may then focus its gaze in that direction, attempting to interpret the sensory information. To an observer, the cat seems to stare into nothingness, but in reality, it is processing environmental signals in ways humans cannot perceive. Despite these scientific explanations, it's easy to understand why the behavior sometimes feels mysterious. Cats move between calm stillness and sudden bursts of attention so smoothly that it creates an impression of hidden awareness. Their quiet intensity can make ordinary sensory reactions appear almost supernatural. Yet what we are really witnessing is a creature perfectly adapted to perceive a world of subtle signals. The cat's mind is constantly scanning, analyzing, and interpreting its environment with precision. Here on Petverse, we celebrate these moments because they remind us that animals experience reality in ways very different from our own. When your cat stares into what looks like empty space, it is not necessarily seeing ghosts or imagining things, it is simply perceiving layers of sound, motion, and sensation that human senses cannot reach. I'm Petverse Voyager, and as you watch your feline companion quietly focusing on that mysterious corner of the room, remember that you are witnessing the remarkable awareness of a tiny predator perfectly tuned to its surroundings. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the hidden wonders of the animals who share our world.